Hello everyone, in this video we're gonna learn about lambda. So before we proceed further with the practical examples, let's have a look at some unnecessary required lectures. Okay, so first point which comes is lambda is nothing but it's a tiny version of function which we create using the def statement, which we covered in the last video. If you have not seen, the link is given in the description section. Do not miss that because that's very important. Now the next thing about lambda is it is nameless. We don't give any name, hence this is also called the anonymous function. Okay, because when we created function using def statement, we had to give a name for the function, but here we don't need to give any name. Next, it can accept multiple arguments but can accept only one expression. It cannot accept multiple expression like def statement. Okay, then it can be written in only one line. In def syntax we saw how we can write a function in multiple lines. There was no restriction, but here the restriction is you can write the things in only one line, not in multiple lines. Then the question comes in how to write the lambda syntax. So for that, the first thing which you're gonna do is type lambda, then put the argument, then put colon, and then put the expression. Let's have a look at the example. Lambda argument I'm going to give as a y, and then the colon, and then I'm going to put this expression. So the outcome which will come out of is whatever number you supply for the argument of y, that will be raised to power 3. Now let me take you to the Jupyter notebook and try to explain you with the practical examples. Okay, so here we are in Jupyter notebook. First, before we proceed further, let's have a look at comparative version of lambda and def statement. Okay, so let's say that we have two numbers a and b, and the numbers are 9 and 8. Okay, now we want to add these numbers. Let's try to create this with def statement. Def addition, right? And here we're gonna say pass the argument x on y, and over here we can say return, and then here we can say return. What is it that we want to return? X plus y. We want to return x plus y. All right, now we have to call this thing first, right? So for that we're gonna call it addition, and in that the number which we want to use is a and b. So here we get the number 17. Now let's try doing this with the help of lambda. So for lambda, like I said, we're gonna start with, okay, so let's put it simple. Okay, so we're gonna say x comma y. This is the argument. Then we're gonna provide the expression. What is the expression that we want? X plus y. We want to add this, but they should be prefixed with, they should be used with lambda. So you see lambda is used. Now this is created, but you have to store this thing in a variable. So I can say something. Let's create a variable called something. This is created. Now if you have to use this particular thing, what we're gonna do is say something, and inside that you're gonna use a comma b. And now you see the function you get is 17. So the benefit is here you have to use multiple lines, a big statement, but here you can do that in a tiniest format, and that's just in one line. Okay, so this is the benefit of using lambda. So this was def versus lambda. Moving forward, it's anonymous. What does that mean? So lambda does not require any name. We just saw that here we stored it in a variable, so but that doesn't mean we are giving a function name over here. Let me show you with the help of an example. Let's see lambda, and over here what we're gonna do is, here I'm just going to put y and z. Okay, all right, sorry, here I'm gonna say y and z equals, not equals to, here we're gonna say colon, right? And what we're gonna say is y into z. Let's enclose this in a bracket. Now this is it, function is defined. Now if you want to use this, what you can do is you can just pass the value 5 comma 4. You see here, now you just hit enter. Here you got the result. So you see we didn't give any name to this particular function, but that is still doing the work. So that's why it is called anonymous. We don't necessarily need to give a name to a lambda function. Moving forward, multiple arguments but one expression. It can accept multiple argument but one expression. Let me try to give you one example. First, let's say, let me just do one thing. Let me just copy this syntax from here itself, okay? And now what I'll do is I'll just come back over here and put it here, okay? So here what we're gonna do is we are simply adding x plus y, and then the other thing which we can do is, let's say, we can write multiple things. We can say x minus y, and we can say, sorry, we can say x minus y. We can also say return x into y, right? X into y, and a number of things we can say here, okay? Now if you call this addition, though the name is addition, but don't go by the name, and here I input the value a and b. If to recall it, in a and b we assigned the value 9 and 8, if you can see over here. Now I'll come back over here over this, and now just hit control plus enter. Here you got 17. Why? Because the last one, the first one is x plus y, which is 9 plus 8, which is 17. Now you have to return another values as well, right? How we can return that? All right, so to get the result of all of these things, what we're gonna do is we just gonna change it a little bit. We're gonna say a equals, or let's say we're gonna say t equals to this, u equals to this, and v equals to this. All right, and now if you come over here, and also we're gonna say return a t comma u comma v. So we want to return all these three variables, right? So now if you come over here and if you hit enter, 17 1 72. So what it is doing, first it is adding 9 8 17, which is this, then 9 minus 8, it is 1, then 9 into 8, it is 72. All right, now let's try to do this using lambda. How can we do it using lambda? So for that you're gonna say lambda, and then you're gonna say x comma y, and you want to write multiple expressions. So the expressions which you want to use is x plus y, then x minus y, then x into y, and let's try to hit enter. It is giving you the error. So that means you cannot accept, it cannot accept multiple expression, but it can accept multiple arguments. So when I say arguments, that means whatever you have at the left side of column. So for example, if you want, you can say x, y, z. Doesn't matter how many arguments, if you want you can pass, right? But at the right hand side you can pass only one expression. Either you can do addition or subtraction or multiplication, whatever it is, but only one, right? So for example, I want to say x multiplied by y multiplied by z multiplied by z. Okay, now I gonna say sample, right? And I'm just storing it for time being. Okay, or if you don't want to do this, just enclose it in a bracket, and over here you just put number 9 comma 3 comma 4 and just hit enter. Here you got the answer. All right, so this is how we call it, this is why we call it, it can accept multiple arguments but one expression only. Okay, now moving forward, it can be written only in one line, right? So the way you just saw here, we wrote multiple lines in diff statement, but here it is it can work in only one line. Let's try this. For example, let's try to hit enter. So you see this is behaving differently, right? It's not giving the result which we actually need. So that's why we say that it can be written only in one line. Now as we progress in this series of Python learning, we will see more practical example of this lambda thing, right? But for now, this is it. Hope you liked it, hope it was clear to you, and happy learning. Until then, all the best.